Right, I'll quickly explain the new pod fraud strat. It's not that new, but it's a variant of fast pod fraud, which Parker has nicknamed two pods and a fraud, so we'll just call it that for now. But there's a new strat for it, which is why I'm making this tutorial. So basically, there's a couple things to keep in mind when you do this strat. You're gonna have to definitely like adjust to how to position your player with the camera because there's like a few things that you should note that one, you need to know where the lap trigger is, and that's I mean I kind of cover that in the tutorial for pod race, so you can take a look if you want like a visual for that. But it's really important to know where you need to be, and then the other thing is you need to know how to control the camera because depending on how much you're moving and when you're moving during the death, it kind of like controls the camera in a weird way. But I'll explain step by step the new strat. It's really not hard. I think that a lot of people can start going for this. It is a little riskier, but I think it saves like altogether over the old strat that like the majority of people go for. This probably saves like upwards of 4 seconds, maybe close to 5, maybe even more than that, because you can definitely get a 49 RTA now. So yeah, basically the way this works is with the new strat, you start holding left when you get out of bounds, just like normal. But when you start getting speed, you start holding back. So I'm on controller, obviously. So when I start getting speed while holding left, I let go of left and I hold down. It's not like I let go of left for very long. I just switch holding left on the D-pad to down on the D-pad. If you're on keyboard, you just switch holding like A to S or whatever it is, and you just hold down until the cutscene triggers, and that's it. So as soon as you get a bunch of speed, you're gonna hold left like normal, and as soon as you get a bunch of speed, then you hold down. And I'll just show you that really quick. It's really not too hard at all. So now, hold down. Now I'll hit the cutscene, and I need to drop out as soon as the cutscene ends. So you can spam your dropout key for this, but I just like time it. Alright, so now that I'm about to drop out, I'm going to be in a very weird position. So after you drop out, you don't want to touch anything on player 1 until you die. Now you can see I am in a very weird position. I'm pointing back away from the canyon. So what you need to do is you need to hold down right, either on the D-pad or the keyboard, for like half a second here. Like that. Alright, so now I'm pointing sort of at where I need to go. This is where readjusting comes into play, because you need to, like right now, I'm a little bit too far left, so I'm not going to get the lap trigger. So I'm going to need to basically tap right before I call in. But it depends on where you'll be. So if you're facing like the red brick, that's like the perfect position to be. And basically all you do is, towards the end of your death, just call in player 2. Don't press anything. Obviously, if you need to readjust, you can move yourself during the death. Or like, I guess not during the death, but like before the death, you can move him. And then call in player 2, don't press anything at all, and wait for player 2 to pass the lap trigger. And you'll be able to see. So you kind of need to visualize where the lap trigger is, depending on where you are. And once player 2 is past the lap trigger, you drop out. So I'll show you that. So I tapped right there, and now player 2 is 100% past the lap trigger. You can see that player 1 is respawning, and now that player 2 is past the lap trigger, I just called him in, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop him out. So, as I drop him out, I'm going to be respawning with player 1. As I drop out, I literally just hold right on the D-pad with player 1. That's it. Nothing else. And boom, now I hit the cutscene. So I know this tutorial is probably a little confusing because the strat itself is pretty complex. But yeah, make sure you look at the tutorial to see a visual of where the lap count trigger is, because that'll help you understand the strat a lot better. You're definitely going to have to practice it a lot if you want to start doing it, because it's all about readjusting your character, I guess your pod racer, in the in the most appropriate way. But another thing to note is that, as far as we're aware right now, if you hold down after pressing left, just like the strat entails, you will you will always pop into the lap at the end. And you'll see here, I mean, it's not like this proves much, but left, down, I will always pop in. Because player 2 gets pushed to the right. So you never really have to worry. Obviously, it's good to keep your hand on player 2 just in case, but you almost certainly never have to worry about player 2 not popping in bounds. So yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions, let me know. It is definitely a complex strat, but that should explain it about as well as is necessary. Also remember that you need to take after your initial death, where you're sort of pointing in a weird direction, you're gonna take 2 deaths on player 1. So the first death, you're gonna do nothing at all. You're just gonna readjust to be pointing over to the right. And then the second death, that's when you call in player 2. So just copy what I do. You can look at my IL for a reference, the story IL that has the new strats. And yeah, hopefully this helps.